Another common type of diagram created in Visio is an organisation chart. For example, if you click on File in the ribbon and then you click on New, you'll be able to create an organisation chart. So I'll choose Organisation Chart here and I'll click Create. Immediately I have a blank piece of paper, and the stencil that I see on the left hand side is an organisational chart shape stencil. Also, when I look up in my ribbon, I have an extra tab called Org Chart, which is used to manage your organisation chart. At the top of your organisation chart, you should have a shape that's executive. So I'm going to drag the executive shape out of the stencil and put it on my page. The executive shape is characterised by a double line around the outside of the shape, and you may also get this little box pop up. This little box is basically saying to connect shapes you drop a shape on top of a superior shape, so I'll just click OK. If I click away from this shape, you can see what I mean about a double line around the outside of the shape, and that indicates an executive shape. I'm going to click on this shape and add Mary Baker as CEO, and then click away. Now what I'd like to do is add 3 managers underneath Mary. So I drag the manager shape from the stencil and I drop it on the superior shape. And this creates my first manager. And I'm going to type Peter Jones. Press enter and type sales and click away. I'd now like to add another manager. So I drag manager and I drop it on Mary. This particular manager is Paul Adams. And charge of production. And a third manager just by dragging the manager shape again and dropping it on the executive shape, and I'll make this Carol Smith. And Carol's in charge of marketing. These shapes can be moved either by dragging or by using these buttons up in the Org Chart tab in the ribbon. But I'm just going to drag Carol and put her on the other side of Paul, and I'll move them across. You can use your mouse to move them. You can use these buttons to move them, or I like to use my arrow keys. So I might push Paul further out just by pressing my left arrow, Peter, and then move Paul along. So I just use my arrow keys to move my shapes where I want them to be. Now underneath Peter there are 2 positions. So I'm going to drag the position shape out of the stencil and drop it on Peter. The first position is Steve Wong. I'll grab another position, drop it on Peter, and this person is Paul Knight. Again, I can click on these shapes, perhaps even hold the shift and choose both of them, and move them down if I want to. But I'm going to add another 2 positions under Paul, so I'll drag the position shape from the stencil and drop it on Paul. And this is Kelly Andrews. And another position underneath Paul. And this is Crystal Brown. Alright, I might hold the shift and select the 2 of them and move them down. Now I'm going to add 2 more positions under Carol. So grab position, drop it on Carol. And this is Peter Jones. And finally another position under Carol, and this is Anne Dunn. Again, holding the shift key I can select the 2 shapes, or the control key for that matter, and move them down just using my down arrow. If I'd like to, I can change the layout of these shapes. For example, I might use Peter Jones as an example. I'll click on Peter Jones, and up here on the Org Chart tab is a horizontal button. If I click the horizontal button, I can make these 2 positions underneath Peter Jones, perhaps go the left or the right. Let's try right, and then move to the right hand side. If I go back to horizontal, I can move them to the left. And you can try these various buttons. That's slightly offset, and that's slightly offset right. Or I can stagger them. And you would simply click on Paul and do the same, or a different layout if you wanted to. So I might stagger those as well, click on Carol and stagger those as well. So there are various horizontal layout options, but there are also vertical layout options. For example, if I click on Peter, go for the vertical button, I might decide to have centre right. center left, and again all sorts of vertical options that you can try. And I might do the same here and do the same here. It's really up to you and what you want. I might also hold the shift and pick up all these positions and use my down arrow to move them all down. Coming back to the stencil, in addition to making executive, managers, positions, you can also make consultants, position vacancies, and assistants. If I grab assistant and I drop it on Peter Jones now has an assistant, and that's Alex Smith, who's a PA. I might also give Paul an assistant, so I'll drag assistant and drop it on Paul Adams, and this is Danielle Carter, who's also a PA. I can easily click on a shape, like Alex, use my arrow keys, and move Alex across and down, and really whatever you want to do. Alright. And I can move Danielle too if I wish. Just using the up and down arrows. Other things you can do is you can click on, say, Mary Baker, and you can actually change it from side by side to a double side. And it's really just worth exploring all these various options. I can also rearrange, so it automatically arranges the shapes in my organisation chart, making it nice and compact. I can also change the spacing between various shapes. For example, if I click on Carol Smith, I can change the spacing and make the spacing tighter, looser, and so on and so forth, for just the selected shapes or for all shapes. There are many options that you can use on your organisation chart tab, and so it's just worth exploring each of these and seeing what you can do and what you can't do. As far as formatting shapes, I'd probably go to the Design tab in the ribbon. In the Design tab, I can, for instance, apply a certain style, and as I roll over them, I can see what that style would look like. Some of them are square, and some of them are round edges. So I might go for this option here. You can also rearrange the page and ask for different layouts such as flowchart, hierarchy, compact tree, all sorts of different options. So I might go with this one. If I wanted to customize any particular shape, I'd click on a shape and I'd probably go to the Home tab. On the Home tab, I can control the fill color of that particular shape or a selection of shapes. Also, I can control the outline around the outside of the shape, and I can apply a shadow if I wished. And more shadow options. If I wanted to add a title, I'd simply drag the title from the stencil and put it at the top of my organisation chart. And then type whatever text is relevant. So I might just type Software Solutions and then click away. So there are many options that you can drag from the stencil, and really it's just a matter of trying your different options.